What is going on, FA Nation? Jonathan Pemba here with Mark Pitts. Welcome to the Fantasy Alarm MLB DFS Playbook Preview Show. We're here for the Monday 7-game main slate starting at 7:20 p.m. Eastern Time. So a little bit longer of a leash there until roster lock on this Monday slate. We got a couple of games at 6:40. So if you want to get some early action, you can get in the Discord, get your questions in for the 3-game 6:40 slate. But Mark and I are here to bring you all the information you need to know for the Monday main slate. Mark, my man, how are we doing?
Doing good, John. Good weekend of baseball. We got playoff hockey going on, so that's a
Playoff
plus.
hockey, the playoff basketball, both the Bruins and Celtics. You and I, obviously, in the Massachusetts area, taking home their game 1 victories there. So with no real challenges, Bruins blowing out Maple Leafs and Celtics blowing out the Miami Heat. So
No surprise.
and you know what? Even the Red Sox swept the weekend series against the Pirates. Glory be there. Even though Tristan Casas hitting the IL, and honestly, I don't even know what the Red Sox lineup even looks like these days. Somehow
They got Rob Refsnyder. They're fine.
We got double catchers going. I mean, I don't even know what's going on, but we're making it work. And we'll see how it continues. Red Sox not on this main slate, however. We do have Coors Field on this one. They're home against the Padres, so obviously that will make an impact here. But let's just get into it. Again, we got 7 games to talk about. Starting off at the pitching position, I think you'll notice right away, we are at the point in certain teams' rotations where we're in the mid to back end, I think, for some of these teams here. Brady Singer's your top price starter, $9,200 against Toronto. Reynaldo Lopez here for Atlanta at home against Miami, $9K. Dylan Cease, because they're in Coors, gets a little reduction in price. He's $8,700. Reed Detmers has a very tough matchup on his hand against Baltimore. Lance Lynn is up over 8K here, going up against the Arizona Diamondbacks. Yusei Kikuchi gets the Royals, and Brendan Pfaadt gets the Cardinals. That's your top 6. You and I were talking about this before we went live here. There's maybe only a handful of pitchers that we'd even consider on the 7-game slate right here.
Yeah, I mean, Dylan Cease is immediately the best option, I think. I know it's Coors, which is a tough place to pitch, but the Rockies are bad. They're very, very bad. He's only 8,700, so I have no issues getting to him. The strikeouts are there, 7, 7, 7. I mean, no real concerns. I mean, Nolan Jones, notably.
Ryan McMahon maybe would be possibly a problem, but I mean, the Rockies at home lost 7-0 on Saturday. In Coors, and then they're getting shut out on Sunday. They have the doubleheader going there. Through 5, haven't scored. They'll play again at 8:00. They go scoreless at home. Against Seattle. Yeah, Dylan Cease, I don't think would have too much trouble here. And because he's in Coors, usually that means that nobody's really playing him either. Some low rostership there potentially coming in on Cease. We were discussing the merits of Reynaldo Lopez and whether or not we're to believe whether or not he is due for some regression, or if what we're seeing out of him is real. Of course, he's been in the league for a while. Middling success, some as a reliever, some as a starter. Long time ago, he's a top 30 prospect in all of baseball. But he's 9K. He's at home. He's got the big win equity behind him with the Atlanta Braves lineup. Are you paying the 9K, though, for Reynaldo Lopez here against the Miami Marlins?
On this slate, I will pay it. If there were other options up there, I might hesitate. But, I mean, he's on the Braves, so he has just immediate win equity. He's made 3 starts, 3 quality starts.
Mm-hmm.
He's not let up a home run. And the Marlins are not a team I'm afraid of.
No Jake Berger, obviously on the IL, so the big power bat out of the middle of their lineup, not even there for them. So, I'm kind of in agreement with you here. Singer's fine. Again, Kansas City offense has been pretty good. He's been okay. He's had some tougher matchups at Houston. Passed that test. We know that Toronto's been inconsistent. But I think it's safe to say that 10 strikeouts against Minnesota were the aberration here. 4, 4, and 5 since then. So, if he's even in a win, say he gets that win against Chicago, you're only getting 18 fantasy points out of a guy at $9,200. And that's even assuming he pitches well against Toronto here. So I'm probably less in on Singer. Lopez and Cease for sure for me. Reed Detmers has been very good, but I'm not testing Baltimore's lineup right now. They're just crushing the baseball. Lance Lynn against Arizona. You and I go back and forth on what to do with Lynn. Somehow against Oakland, he manages just 1 strikeout. He does go 7 and allows just 1 run. was, of course, a solo homer. He's faced good teams. He's faced bad teams. Overall, he's been pretty damn good here. Where do you go with Lance Lynn in this matchup against Arizona?
He's like permanently a coin toss. Like even when he's facing Oakland, like he was still a coin toss for me.
Yep.
Like you don't know what you're getting. He gave up 3 home runs against the Marlins, who like we don't respect the Marlins lineup.
Right.
So, I mean, now he has Arizona, who is just stacked, loaded.
Marte, Corbin Carroll, Lourdes Gurriel, Christian Walker, you name it. Definitely a heavy hitter lineup. But then he shut out Philadelphia, and then they got plenty of good at bats on that team too.
So tournament play, yeah. If I made a bunch of lineups, like I might fit him in, but he there's just so much risk. I'd never believe in him. I'm always afraid he's just going to give up 4 home runs in the first inning, and you're lost already.
Yeah,
Tournament's over.
Agreed. Kansas City. Now, Yusei Kikuchi being a lefty here, maybe that gives some interest to you. The strikeout numbers for him are something we haven't seen in a little bit. 7, 9, and 9 the last 3 games for him. Yankees, Seattle Yankees. Now, both of those teams obviously never really hit lefties all that well. Outside of Bobby Witt, you're looking at the rest of the Kansas City lineup, and I don't know. There's Vinny Pasquantino hits from the left side of the plate. MJ Melendez is a lefty. Some of their bigger bats, hit from the left side. Would you give Yusei Kikuchi a look here at $8,200?
I definitely would. I mean, I like the Royals lineup. We play them a lot. Every other day it feels like we're stacking Royals, but he's just been too good. Like he's limiting the damage. He's not getting hit around. He's
just
one home run on the year.
Yeah.
And yeah, like you said, the big strikeouts. So at 8,200, I mean, if you're going to get 8 strikeouts, it feels like you can't go wrong there.
Yeah, I'm putting up some numbers here just to see maybe where Kansas City sits against lefties on the year. Only an 18% strikeout rate. The numbers actually aren't all that bad, but again, yeah, I don't know. I feel like some of those could have been inflated by big time performances, and we know they had a couple of early games this year where they hung like double digit runs. I agree with you. For the mid tier price, I'd be willing to give Kikuchi a look. When we go under 8K, what any of these names stand out to you? I mean, Paddock obviously has the White Sox, but he's been terrible. Wynn gets the Mets. Quintana on the Giants on the split side of that. Weathers had a 10 strikeout game the other day against San Francisco. He's been pretty okay. I mean, given the matchups that he's had, but it's Atlanta. I don't think we want to trust that one. Cannon was good in his debut. He's $6,000 against Minnesota. We know the strikeout potential could be there. He held the Kansas City Royals to 1 run over 5 innings. So maybe there's a look there. And then at mid-price 4K, we stacked against Albert Suarez in that matchup against Minnesota, and he shoved it down our throats. 5 2/3 of shutout baseball, no walks, 4 Ks. What are you thinking when it comes to the value tier here?
I mean, I'm not in love with any of them. I kind of like Quintana, just because he's been like decent and the price is not bad. But we know there's some guys in the Giants that can hit lefties like Soler, Flores.
Yeah.
But Albert Suarez at 4K just because he's 4K. I mean, I don't know if he's going to get that many pitches again. I don't know how many innings he's going to throw, but I mean, I think they left him out there because he had a no-hitter through like 5.
He did, yeah.
So, I mean, I don't expect him to do that again, but
a 34-year-old that pitched overseas for like 8 years comes back into the league and has a no-no going through 5 innings, right? So
also the Twins. I mean, they're not very good against righties. But he's min-price, so if you're making a bunch of lineups, you throw him in one, maybe gets you 10, 15 points at 4K. I mean, you can't go wrong.
Angels 23rd in team WOBA against right-handed pitching on the year. In terms of team ISO, they sit 19th. Team batting average against right-handed pitching this year, they're 17th, 24% strikeout rate. So, I mean, listen, you're playing Albert Suarez because you want to spend up and fit in either the Atlanta bats, the Padres and Coors are certainly going to be a popular offense to spend up for here. So that's one of the reasons you're there. And again, I'll give a shout out to Jonathan Cannon. The Minnesota Twins just keep striking out. In terms of strikeout rate against right-handed pitching, 3rd most in the league, 27.7%. Only Seattle and Colorado are higher. Chris Paddock has been terrible. White Sox, have shown they got Eloy Jimenez back in their lineup. Like they have some of their hitters back. I mean, maybe they could poke some runs off Chris Paddock here. I wouldn't mind giving Jonathan Cannon just a courtesy look in tournaments if I was making multiple lineups as well.
Yeah, if you get the same performance as last game and he gets a win, I mean, instead of 12 points, you get 16 points. I mean,
Right.
that
Agreed.
that feels pretty good.
Moving on over to catcher again. We always have the conversation here. We'll wait and see what lineups come out. We like to spend down if we can find the right spend down spot. We'll target it here, so we'll see who's in and out of these lineups when it comes to the official lineups here. Darno had the free homer game the other day, 4 homers in his last 5 at bats. He's up to $4,200 now, so kind of a mid-tice. Luis Campusano, I think, will probably be the chalk here. Gets the lefty and Gomber. He's been pretty good, and he's in cores. He had a really good numbers last year against lefties, so I can see Campusano kind of being the go-to move here.
Yeah, absolutely. Coors Field, you can't go wrong.
Can't go wrong. Plug in first base here. Again, a lot of options for us. Olsen gets the lefty. Walker gets Lynn. Mountcastle versus lefty is something we had played for a few years. You got Cronenworth lefty, but in cores. Do any of these top options stand out to you more than the others?
I mean, it's not the right side of his splits, but I still like Christian Walker just
Sure.
because Lance Lynn and his propensity to give up home runs. But I think, just going down to Mountcastle. I don't have the numbers up, but he crushed lefties last year.
Yeah, he's hit lefties for the majority of his career, and a lot of it was on the road as well because Baltimore changed their field dimensions and it was starting to limit some of the right-handed power alley numbers. But still, hitting over 300, hitting over 860 OPS here. 2 hits in 3 of the last 4 games. Happy to give him a look. We have the Coors Field as we talked about there. Let's see, what else do we look at? Wilmer Flores is 38 against Quintana. Could go take a peek on that split there. If you're not in on Paddock, I mean Andrew Vaughn is $3,300. Gavin Sheets 32. Probably look at Sheets, a lefty righty versus Paddock there, $3,200.
And they got him hitting cleanup too, so
yeah, that's a pretty good spot for him there. It's probably it. They got Pavin Smith back up on the team there. I don't think we probably wouldn't go to Pavin Smith, but gets a lefty versus Gomber spot.
So Matthew Batten comes up, hits a triple, and then they option him back down immediately.
I guess so.
It would have been a free first baseman in Coors. We've seen enough of you.
Apparently, they weren't sure if Cronenworth was going to hit the IL. I guess I don't know. He came up, sent him down. All right, let's go on over to second base again. We'll have official lineups, but obviously 7-game slate. We like a lot of some of these pitchers that these matchups, or they're lefty splits, so nothing great. Goldschmidt's been trash. Not really going to go him against Fott there. Or Hearn's got the lefty. If you like Lopez, Singer against Turner, So we'll see where we go at first base. Maybe it's not the spend up spot on this slate here, particularly. Second base gives you Ketel Marte against Lynn. You get Xander in Coors at 5K, a little Coors Field boost for him there. Gorman and Donovan get fought. They're both lefties. What are your thoughts here at the top end of second base?
I'll play Ketel Marte every slate. I don't care if it's a lefty or righty on the mound.
He doesn't care either.
Yeah, he really doesn't. And Lance Lynn, like we said, he's just as easy to strike out 10 as he is to get absolutely shelled. Bogarts 5K. I mean, people are going to play him. He's in Coors. I don't know if I love it at that price.
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably be looking to if I'm not spending on Ketel, I'd probably look down further. Maybe probably not Jackson Holiday, but
as it is, I wonder how much longer they're going to let Jackson Holiday strike out. I mean, do 15 strikeouts and 27 at bats is not a great ratio there.
Not really building his confidence. Throwing him out there every day.
No, it's not. Estrada 33. I always like Kevin Biggio in the middle of that lineup. There's really not much here, man. This is kind of gross.
Yeah, it's ugly.
Right? If we weren't playing Cannon, I guess we could go some of the Minnesota guys, like Eduardo Julian's obviously a lefty. Kirilloff was a lefty at first base. So maybe if you're not in on Cannon, there's some Minnesota potential there, but that's
beyond that.
There's not much. I mean, even Luis Urias isn't hitting anymore. Not like we'd play him against Lopez anyways, but all right, third base it is then. You got Riley versus lefty and Weathers. Machado versus Gomber's probably chalk. at $5,500. Again, not playing Michael Garcia until he comes down to like 4K.
Right.
Jordan Westberg homer. To him and Cowser went back to back today because Baltimore's lineup is loaded. Again, I like Reed Detmers. I do. I think he's talented. He's had some big performances this year. This is going to be just a very, very tough matchup for him. So if you think Baltimore's offense keeps rolling, Westberg at 43 is kind of interesting.
I mean, he did play them the first game, and he was pretty good, Detmers.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I get it. I have him on some best ball teams. Like, I didn't even realize I had him. I was just like, oh, this team's in first. And like, oh, I took Reed Detmers with like my last starting pitcher pick, apparently. Yeah, I mean, 7-12-7, really Tampa Bay, Boston, Baltimore. I mean, Baltimore obviously has the toughest matchup here, but he has been lights out. So, if you're maybe a believer in some level of regression at all, even like, then maybe, but the price for Westbrook is the appealing part because he's 4,300. He's smacking the ball right now.
Oh yeah. Chapman too. I mean, not really. Like I don't love the player. I'm not really impressed, but he has been hitting the ball. He's been putting up points. So he gets Quintana, who's okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'm going to stack the Giants, but I would consider him.
Sure. Let's see. Got some more San Diego guys down here, I guess, if they're in the lineup. I was playing a lot of Brett Beatty earlier in the season. I guess I could go back to Beatty at 3K. Seems like he's good. He started Sunday with that hamstring.
Sure.
They put Carlos Correa on the IL. Willie Cash has been starting at shortstop. He's got the dual positional eligibility. He's been terrible, but we played him a lot last year. He had a little power, had some stolen bases. I mean, there's some possibility.
Stole like 30 bags or something.
Yeah.
32, I think.
So maybe
he's very cheap.
Maybe Willie Castro if he's in the lineup against Cannon. Again, I kind of liked Cannon for tournaments, but Minnesota feels like price-wise, they're just a way to get a lot of these guys in. So
it's the same as last year. I mean, they're always cheap, and they can hit the ball if they're not striking out.
Yeah. Home runs or strikeouts. That's what you get from Minnesota here. But I still think Machado is going to be probably the chalk here. If you want to be different, probably pivot up the Riley against Weathers. Shortstop, you got Bobby Witt, you got Gunnar Henderson. Henderson is a lefty-lefty matchup. Not that it has mattered too much for him. Bobby Witt against Kikuchi at 62. Machado's got the dual positional eligibility. You get Tovar. Ha-Seong Kim against a lefty in Coors. That feels like a chalk play.
At 4,500, yeah. I mean, I would have thought he'd be priced at more than that. I guess he was 3,800 last game, but yeah. Big fan of Kim.
A lot of power there. The last time you and I did a show, we talked about the Braves lineup and what they would do with Arcia versus lefty. They hit him second. So I imagine he's back to hitting second here. He's 4K against Weathers. Gonna also just give him a consideration here. If you're not playing Ha-Seong Kim or Machado at short, that Arcia should probably be your guy
here. What was his number again? Was it
last year? It was a 300 ISO. Now, obviously, this year he hasn't had that same level of power.
But he can do it. He has done it.
But he has done it for a whole year, and now he's hitting between Acuna, Riley, and Olsen. So I'm certainly willing to give him a look at 4K. Obviously, Lance Lynn always liable to give up home runs. Blaze Alexander's $3,700, hitting over 300 still with nearly 1,000 OPS, and dude, 17 games in, so he's still just hitting the baseball well.
I've been playing a lot of him. I mean, his price really hasn't moved, and he's been consistently getting on base.
Yeah, 5 RBI game on Saturday. Friday. 5 RBI game on Friday. I mean, he's good. Yeah, it's right. Doesn't matter. Doesn't even have to be a righty lefty anymore. Just play.
And they hit him. Sometimes they hit him up in the lineup. I mean, usually he's 6 or 7, but I've seen him. He's hit cleanup in games. So.
He's strong. Let's see. We talked Castro down here already. Is Jace Peterson going to be in this lineup? No, they designated him. Okay, I was going to say. I didn't think so. Mason Wynn. Again, I talk a lot of Mason Wynn. We like Brandon Pfaadt. A lot of underlying numbers suggest that Pfaadt could be pitching better than what his numbers suggest. But with a righty on the mound, Mason Wynn's going to hit at the bottom of that lineup. They did option Victor Scott to AAA, so I don't know if that would put Wynn in any better position to lead off, but we know the stolen base potentials for him. He's hitting over 300 and he's $2,600.
I'm really surprised they haven't moved his price up. I mean, I'm not saying he should be a 4K guy, but I mean, he's 2,600 still?
Still. Yeah, no. I mean, last 5 games here, 6 games, 17, 13, 10, 13. 4 is still paying off $2,600. And then 7, I mean,
I love throwing him in there as a one-off because I mean I don't like many of the St. Louis bats, but
Yeah.
he's free. He's a free square,
Yep.
and he helps you. I mean, if you're using the cheap pitcher, if you're using the 4K pitcher and then win, I mean you could fit
Acuna.
anybody.
Yeah, you can fit whoever, Tatis, whoever you want.
Yeah.
All right. That's probably it here. Let's go to outfield again, where there are the top spend ups. Ronald Acuna gets Weathers at 64. Mike Trout. I mean, he deserves to be 6,300. I get the batting average is 260, but he's got 8 homers and 6 stolen bases on the year. So if you want to go Mike Trout, you can. All the Coors plays will be popular. Tatis, Blackmon, Nolan Jones. All those guys are in play. I'm trying to think, what other Padres do we have in the outfield here? Profar versus lefty at 39. That feels like a lock.
Yep, he's been hitting like third sometimes.
Yeah, and the numbers for him, the strong split side for him is against lefties. Jackson Merrill's a lefty spot, but he'll still be in the lineup there, so fine going in that direction. Did you pick up Doyle today in our seasonal league? Somebody picked up Doyle today in our season.
Was not me.
Has some power. Again, they're in cores, so if you wanted to give him a look at a cheaper option, you can. So
it's possible they knock Gomber out of this game like relatively soon. So.
Yeah, early, exactly. And then all the lefty splits don't even matter anymore. Right. So Ozuna against a lefty at $5,400 just keeps on
doesn't miss
being awesome. If you want
Corbin Carroll,
yeah.
Waiting for has he homered yet?
Like he's homered once.
It's gonna come. Like he can do it. He's going to do it.
Still messed up or something. Like I don't know. Because remember, he hurt his shoulder last year, and he kind of played through it, and
he missed like 45 minutes of a game or something. Like he didn't sit.
Yeah, so I don't know, but yeah, the power really very disappointing year so far for Corbin Carroll. Lourdes again, 51 is there. Taylor Warfield's a little bit too expensive for me. Soler at 46. If you're not in Quintana, we called it the other day on the show. Friday, got a lefty homer. So, the legit power is there for Soler against a lefty.
It's almost a lock.
Yep. Honestly, I mean, 400 ISO last year against left-handed pitching. That's a ridiculous number, power-wise. Nimmo, if you're not playing win at 43, it's been pretty good. Nelson Velasquez that hit lefty as well, but we kind of liked Kikuchi there. Newbar gets fought. A lot of lefty-lefty matchups on this slate, kind of killing our vibes.
Yeah.
Duvall against Weathers is 36.
Marte?
Who?
Starling Marte. I mean,
where's Starling at?
He's
4, yeah, okay.
8 RBIs in the last 3 games.
Yeah. Dude, 2 stolen bases as well, getting the speed
2 homers.
Going. I could get behind some Starling Marte. That's not bad if you're going Mets. I mentioned Eloy. Obviously, he had the home run today. Had 2 hits yesterday, so maybe he is starting to come around a little bit. I mean, he's not 500. Dude, he's not a $3,500 hitter when he's healthy. I know this team sucks and he's never healthy, but like I don't know.
I feel like it keeps his price down. Like
it does.
It was the same last year. He'd like play whatever 10 games and get hurt, and like they just wouldn't touch his price when even if he came back and like raked.
Yeah,
and he'd be 3,500 the whole year.
Yeah,
you wouldn't get that many games out of him, but when he's on, he's on.
Yeah, again, though their team is so bad, you can't even really like stack it. But I guess if you were to 2-man, you could do Sheets and Eloy there. It helps a little bit when Lewis Roberts at least active because then you can justify because Roberts is there. But
right,
the rest of that probably not so much here.
You don't want to stack Andrew Benintendi?
I don't. Dalton Varshaw's been pretty good lately. I know again Brady Singer's been fine, but you got Varshaw there with some power. Let's see what else.
And speed. I mean, he's got 2 stolen bases in the last 4 games too.
Mm-hmm. Let's see anything else. We laughed at Trevor Lawrence and then he homered on Friday.
You laughed.
I laughed. I said I will not play this man, and 2 for 4 to homer. So he's gonna hit. He's gonna hit the middle. He's gonna hit 4 for them probably. So.
I'll throw DJ Stewart out there.
Okay.
I think he's
starting to heat up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean he's got a. What is it? All right, 1 homer. He's got a bunch of RBIs. He had like RBIs in like 5 games.
He had 1,000 OPS on the year, despite hitting 220 something. Feels hard to do.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
They hit 220, but also 1,000 OPS means you're only hitting doubles and home runs. And that's probably it. All right, let's get our lineup build going. I feel like for the sake of value, Profar needs to just sort of be in this lineup here at 30.
Yeah, lock him in.
All right. Pitching wise, we do what, Lopez and Cease and see if we can build. And if we need to get the value, we'll go to the value.
Yeah, I mean either Lopez and Cease or Cease and Kikuchi. I mean either way.
Sure. And then if we really needed it, we can go to Suarez, right? So
yes, yeah.
All right, Campusano is the other plug there. First base, I think we went. I think we like Mount. We don't do Mountcastle. You liked Walker. Let's see if we can get Walker in there. Walker's 49.
Or you could play one more Flores. I mean,
yeah. We'll see what we can do here. Second base. What did we do? Second base.
This is
we weren't spinning up for Xander. I don't think you liked Ketel Marte. Would you rather Walker or Ketel if you had to pick a one-off?
I'd rather Ketel.
Okay, so we'll do Wilmer then. We'll go down here and do Wilmer Flores. There he is. And then we'll do Ketel Marte. It's a 3,800 play. I guess we might as well. We had Kim was 35. So there's 3. Let's see.
Third base.
Do we have a value third baseman?
I mean, you like Beatty, but
yeah, I don't hate Beatty. Let's do Beatty for now because we also mentioned Marte's 4K, and then outfield 37. One off Eloy.
I mean, that's probably the best way to play him.
Yeah, it probably is the best way to play him. All right, we'll do a one off Eloy there. Do we have anything to connect? We might as well just do sheets then at this point if that's what we're gonna do. All right, $800 left over, so can we get off from Beatty there? 3,800 third baseman. Nope. Nope, can't do it.
Doesn't exist.
Does not exist for us here. Trying to see if there was anything else that we could do. That felt gross. Marte, I guess not. I guess we'll stick with Beatty then for now. Actually, we have 800.
I mean, you can move off.
Yeah, let's go
to and
oh, there we go. Let's go off Marte. Oh no, there we go. Still there. Home run power.
There we go. 400
right.
ISO.
Yeah, 400 ISO. Reynaldo Lopez, Dylan Cease, Luis Campusano, Gavin Sheets, Ketel Marte, Brett Beatty, Ha-Seong Kim, Jerkson Profar, Horace Soler, Eloy Jimenez. Getting you guys here. Quick preview of this Monday 7-game slate. I believe Howard Bender will be back 4 p.m. Eastern for today's live stream with Henry Wilson. If not, you'll see my face again with Henry Wilson doing this live stream at 4 p.m. If you haven't already hit the like button, please do so. Free way to support what we're doing here on the Fantasy Alarm YouTube channel. Hit the subscribe button so you never miss a live show as well. Mark, been a pleasure doing the show with you the last couple of days. I'm sure Fantasy Alarm members know where to find you on Discord and on Twitter. And, of course, you do the Saturday or Sunday playbook, so they get all your information there as well. Guys, good luck with your lineup early builds. We'll talk to you later.